Imagine stepping into your backyard and hearing the satisfying crunch of gravel underfoot instead of the whir of a lawnmower. Rock landscapes are surging on social feeds because they swap high-maintenance grass for instant resort vibes. Home design magazines now dedicate whole issues to gravel patios, river rock beds, and sculptural boulders, calling them the chicest shortcut to a luxury look without a luxury budget. Stick with us and you'll learn how to craft that oasis for surprisingly little time and cash. The biggest perk of choosing stone is water savings. Replacing just 200 square feet of thirsty turf with pea gravel conserves roughly 9,000 gallons of irrigation water every year, according to the EPA's WaterSmart Landscapes Guide. That translates into meaningful utility bill cuts and frees up resources for accent lighting or new patio furniture. Plus, fewer sprinklers mean fewer weeds and mildew problems. So your Saturdays suddenly open up for actual relaxation. Let's talk numbers, because budgets matter as much as beauty. Pea gravel remains one of the most affordable hardscape materials on the 2025 market, averaging $25 to $67 per cubic yard delivered, with an overall national average near $46. That means a medium backyard refresh, stone, weed fabric, steel edging, and a rental compactor often lands below $400, a fraction of what you'd pay for poured concrete, stamped pavers, or composite decking surfaces. spring announces renewal, making it the perfect moment to retire faded mulch and blanket beds with fresh pea gravel. Because stone never decomposes, you skip annual top-ups, and its subtle sheen bounces light onto emerging bulbs, amplifying every tulip and daffodil in the process. The Spruce's Lawn Alternative Guide praises gravel for discouraging termites and slugs that thrive in soggy bark, giving your new seedlings a healthier start right out of the gate. When midsummer heat waves strike, surface temperature suddenly matters. Light-colored river rock, think quartzite, marble chips, or pale granite, reflects solar energy rather than absorbing it, keeping seating zones several degrees cooler than dark asphalt or brick. Seasoned landscapers note guests can still walk barefoot across white stones during triple-digit days, a comfort advantage that turns afternoon gatherings from scorchers into pleasant poolside brunches without the fear of burned soles. Autumn ushers in a burnt orange color palette, and charcoal basalt or deep slate chips provide a dramatic backdrop that makes pumpkins and ornamental grasses practically glow. HGTV's Fall Curb Appeal Roundup spotlights this high-contrast pairing as a top tactic for homeowners listing during sweater season because photo thumbnails pop instantly on real estate sites. Layer a few ochre maples or burgundy mums nearby, and you have a magazine-worthy porch vignette before Halloween even hits. Winter brings thaw-freeze cycles that transform lawns into slippery quagmires, but gravel paths shed snow more quickly thanks to air pockets between stones. Family Handyman's cold weather hacks list gravel walkways among the simplest ways to minimize icy buildup, noting that the textured surface improves traction for pets and delivery drivers alike. Add a border of larger cobbles to channel meltwater away from foundations, and you've solved drainage and safety in a single weekend project. Texture equals interest, and the easiest recipe is the 1-2-3 stone mix. Begin with 3 inches of compactable minus gravel for stability. Follow with a 2-inch layer of mid-size river rock to create undulating shadows, and finish with a 1-inch sprinkling of polished pebbles for subtle sparkle. Bob Vila's landscape rule of thirds stresses that echoing those proportions across beds prevents the yard from feeling like a loose gravel pit, and instead evokes the harmony of a wild creek bank. Every great space needs an anchor, and in a rock garden that role belongs to a statement boulder. House designers recommend selecting a stone roughly 1/3 the height of the nearest bench or chair, so it feels intentional yet not overpowering. Place it slightly off-center in a seating nook or at the turn of a path, and you instantly create a photo op that draws eyes deeper into the landscape during afternoon strolls. Storm season anxiety disappears once you install a dry creek bed that guides water where you choose rather than where gravity dictates. Instructable's 3-step tutorial simplifies the process. Mark the curving channel with a hose, trench 6 inches deep, line with landscape cloth, and backfill with smooth river rock plus a scattering of accent boulders. The finished swale swallows flash runoff, curbs erosion, and provides year-round sculpture that whispers with water during rain. An elegant fix achievable in a single Saturday.